Now, if you're finding it hard to shift those extra pounds from around your middle, no matter what you do, there might well be a good reason. Syndrome X apparently affects up to 50% of Irish people, meaning it could be insulin resistance rather than overeating that's causing extra weight to pile on. Melanie Stephens from the College of Naturopathic Medicine is here to tell us more. 50%, that's quite a high figure.
It is, it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do about it? Or how do you recognise that you have this problem?
Oh, generally, well, let me tell you a little bit about it before we jump into treatment options. Syndrome X is basically a collection of metabolic disorders in the body which results from something called insulin resistance. Now, some people might know this as being called Metabolic Syndrome or Syndrome X insulin resistance. So they're all the same words. But having this syndrome basically increases your risk for cardiovascular problems and also diabetes. So it's not a nice syndrome to have. Now, to see if you've got it or not, basically there's a few things. You probably have to go to your GP, get some blood work done, have a look. Is your blood pressure high? Is your cholesterol levels high? You might have insulin resistance as well. But there are a few things that you can look for. For example, abdominal obesity, weight that you're finding a little bit hard to shift. You might have skin tags, and these little benign skin growths from you've seen them probably around the chest or the back underarms, those kinds of things. Also, you might have mood swings, a bit of depression, headaches, fatigue. All these kinds of things are classic signs of insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome.
Okay, and would it affect the male population more so than the female population?
Yep, generally it may, and you'll often see more males carrying the weight around their abdomen, although women tend to carry it more around their thighs and their buttocks, but these are a safer type of fat to carry, really. Yep.
So to definitely find out whether you have it or not, you need some blood work done by your local GP, and that's not just a simple pinprick and away you go. No,
it'll be a series of blood work tests, so your GP would help organise those for you.
All right. The good news is, though, this is containable. You can actually just change your lifestyle approach.
Absolutely.
Approach the lifestyle, and away we go.
There is so much you can do about it, and that's what's so fantastic about Syndrome X is by making lifestyle and dietary changes together, you can do so much to knock this syndrome on the head. It's there is no real medical treatment for it apart from, perhaps lowering cholesterol and help to stabilise blood sugar levels, but you really have to address the diet and lifestyle.
Okay. Let's put up some signs then of insulin resistance, what you may experience, what you may be suffering from. And it doesn't necessarily say that you'll have all these together, but if you have them at individual times, or a combination of these, then the chances are likely that you need to go and get checked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we've done these, the extra abdominal, the skin tags, the depression, the mood imbalancers. But stuff like acne and migraines. Oh,
they're so big. And you might be thinking, hey, these signs are so common. But that's because this imbalance, this Syndrome X, is common. So, the amount of people suffering from skin problems and headaches and ringing in the ears and that abdominal obesity is rising in Ireland. So,
signs then of what causes it?
What causes it?
Yeah, the high sugar intake is obviously one that's there.
I mean, and when we say high sugar, we don't just mean, adding sugar to your tea or having desserts. Also things like your low GI carbohydrates, white bread, white rice, white pasta, processed foods, crisps, all these things are really high in sugar, really.
And again, you regularly call for the packaging on food stuff to be clearer. And I mean, food manufacturers will say we're making it as clear as we can. Yet if you go to America, you get all the details there on the packet, no matter what it is. Over here, they seem to be allowed to get away with that little bit more.
Well, unfortunately, you need to have a bit of skill when you're looking at your packages. And you need to get into a habit of picking up every package and looking on the ingredients list. And most people don't do this. And once you do it a few times, you start to learn what you're looking for. So the low GI foods is one factor. If you start eating more low GI foods, you're going to get more fibre as well. So that's
Explain the low GI foods.
Basically foods that are going to, carbohydrate foods like your breads and rice and pastas and lentils that will release sugar slowly into the system.
So not white bread we're taking, we're talking
absolutely
good quality wheat bread, is it? Or?
Absolutely. You're looking at wholemeal breads, whole grain. So they're going to provide a slow release of carbohydrates, sustain energy throughout the day, and normalise this insulin resistance.
Okay.
So they're important.
Increasing your fibre and then protein with each meal as well.
Protein with each meal is very important. And we're not saying, hey, have a steak or bacon with each meal, because these aren't quality proteins. You're looking at things like an egg, some fresh fish, low-fat chicken, beans and lentils. These all can be thrown in with your meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, to actually stabilise that blood sugar level. In addition to that, you want to have good fats. There's a big difference. Most people think,
explain the difference between good and bad fats. I know we could do it in hours, but just to give people a
yeah, absolutely. I mean, most
measure.
people think, hey, all fats are bad, and this couldn't be further from the truth. Our body actually needs a lot of good fats. Good fats would be things like your monounsaturated fatty acids, your extra virgin olive oil, and that's extra virgin. You don't want the refined olive oil, the cheap one. You want to go for the good quality. And also things like your omega-3 fatty acids from your oily fish, walnuts, flax seeds. These are great fats. Also fats from avocados. These are a fantastic source of fats. What's unhealthy is things like your deep-fried foods, crisps, saturated fats.
Right, that's all the wrong fats.
Absolutely.
That'll artery block and everything else. Okay, and of course a decrease in salt. But even if you do that, you still need to be very aware of what you're intaking in terms of packaged or processed foods or even foods you're eating out.
Most people think that because they've stopped adding salt to their meal, they've decreased their salt, but they actually haven't read the packages, and all their packaged food contains massive amounts of salt, and that's where most of the salt is coming from. In addition to decreasing salt, you need to increase potassium. They work together in the body, and you get potassium from green leafy veggies and fruits. So the more fruit and veggies you can get in the diet, the better off you're going to be.
And would you go past more than the actual recommended 5 portions?
Absolutely. The more the merrier with fruit and vegetables. They really are our best friends as far as nutrition is concerned. So the more you can get in, the better. And
the whole idea of 3 big meals is gone. It's 6, 7 meals, smaller meals across the day.
If we're talking about stabilising blood sugar levels, it is better to graze throughout the day. But you need to be careful of what you're choosing to snack on. Most people think biscuits and crisps are a good snack. These aren't great snacks. You really want to be having low GI foods, that's low, slow-release carbohydrate foods with a bit of protein. Think like hummus and an oat cake is a great example, or a piece of fruit and some nuts and seeds. These are fine to snack on through the day, and then you can have your proteins with your salad and veggies at other meals.
All right. The figure is staggering that as many as up to 50,000 or 50% of people may have it. So if you feel that you have it, just go and see your doctor. That's the best thing to do, is it?
It's probably the best thing to do, but keep in mind that there is so much you can do if you have been diagnosed with insulin resistance, Syndrome X. Go see a naturopathic practitioner and ask them for advice on how to change your lifestyle, get some exercise into your life, that's so important, and change your diet. And you know what? There's so much you can do.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, you'll be on the right track then.
All right, Melanie. Phone number's up there, website details up as well. Pleasure as always. Thank you very much for joining us again.